Hi everyone, I'm the Global Runner, and today I'm going to be giving you 3 reasons why I think you should buy the Adios Pro 2 rather than the Adios Pro 3. Today is the day that the Adios Pro 3 is released in Canada. But rather than waiting by my keyboard at 8 o'clock Mountain Time to see if I can snag myself a pair, I've decided something different. I've decided that rather than the Pro 3, I'm going to try the Pro 2. Why go for the second version when I could have the updated version, version 3? Well, in this video, I'll explain why. I have just bought a pair of the Adios Pro 2. There they are. It's got its nice Adi Zero sign on the top, and it's an interesting box. Comes open like that, and inside we have the shoes themselves. Well, the box doesn't come off the end, but here they are. And the first thing to note is they are super lightweight, and I love the tread underneath. It's like sandpaper underneath the Continental grip. It's like super traction. I love that. That's going to be something I'm going to be interested in finding out. We've got this cutaway piece here with the carbon fiber rods in, which adds some stiffness to it. We've got quite a squishy foam on top here, and an equally squishy foam on the bottom. We've got Light Strike Pro all the way through, and we've got in the back a 39mm stack, so these are legal. So these are obviously designed by Adidas to be a marathon type racing shoe, and they are light. They are 212 grams or 7.8 ounces in a men's size 9. You can see the energy rods. These are like a carbon fiber plate, but they're supposed to follow the lines of your phalanges, I guess, to make the energy return a bit more efficient. So they are a stiff shoe, but the idea is to give more energy back during the stride. So I've got them on my feet here for the first time, and they feel super comfy. They're not too squishy. Some shoes that you find are really squishy, and these are not super squishy, but you can definitely feel some squish in them, and they're comfy. I went half a size down from what I normally do, just because the shoe shop didn't have my normal size, which is size 10. I think 9.5, which is the ones I've got, which is half a size down, actually seem to fit quite well. The mesh upper, well, it's not a mesh upper, it's like a sort of plasticky type upper, is something that is quite forgiving, and I'm sure will mold quite well, and it's not too much on the big toe there. So 9.5 I think I'll get away with, and they give that sort of extra racy feel. So the first impressions are that they're really comfortable to step in, and they've got a decent amount of squish without being too squishy. The plan today is to take them on some kilometer reps and see how they handle those. So I'm going to do 10 by kilometer and see how they handle them. Okay, so I've been for my run. I did 10 by a kilometer in about 3:25 pace per kilometer on average. Some were a little bit faster, some were a little bit slower, but that was about the pace that I was looking. So a decent test for the Adios Pro 2. And what are my initial thoughts? So improvements I'm hoping on version 3 are, there's a few of them. So I'm hoping that version 3 has a bit more lockdown in the forefoot. This upper is, it doesn't hug your foot. And for a racing shoe, I think you need it to hug your foot. So there was a bit too much room in the upper. I like a bit more lockdown, especially in the racing shoe. The other thing I'd note is, I mean, it's see-through, like you can see through there, but there's no holes in it. It's very, I think this would get quite hot on a very hot day. So that's one thing. I didn't have any problems with the lockdown. They've got a nice little sort of heel collar there, which locks down, so no heel slippage at all. It's a very thin tongue, but that's not a problem at all. The lacing wasn't too tight, so it's all very lightweight. It's just the front which needs a bit of a better lockdown. So if they improve the upper, that will be fantastic. The other thing that I am worried about is I love this traction. It's fantastic, but it's already starting to wear. And I know Continental is durable rubber, but there's a tiny thin layer of it on there. So I wonder how long and how durable this is going to be and how long it's going to last. So that's a concern. Like I said, there are 3 reasons I bought these in preference to the Pro. Reason number 1 is price. These were 280 Canadian dollars, and you can get them on sale now in the US certainly, but the Adios Pro 3 is going to be an extra 20 bucks. Now that might not sound like much, but the difference between the $280 shoe and the $300 shoe plus tax, in my view, is quite significant. So point number 1 is that there's going to be a $20 price increase on the Pro 3 over the Pro 2. The second reason that I bought the Pro 2 rather than waiting for the Pro 3 is the drop. So we have a 39mm stack height in the rear here, and we've got 31.5mm in the forefoot, leading to a 7.5mm drop, which is a much more aggressive approach for a shoe, and one that I like. And my understanding is that the drop on the Pro 3 is going to be that little bit less, so 6.5mm rather than 7.5. Now that doesn't sound like much, but that really is the crossover point between a heel striking shoe as I see it and a midfoot or forefoot shoe as I see it. And in a more aggressive racing type shoe, I much prefer a higher stack. So the slightly higher stack on this shoe is one which made it more attractive to me from that perspective. And the third reason that I suggest that you buy the Pro 2 as opposed to the Pro 3 is that the Pro 3 looks a lot more like the Vaporfly. It's quite squishy, and I don't think it will be as rigid. This one I found to be very different to the Vaporfly. So I found this to be quite propulsive, but a lot more stable than the Vaporfly. I've seen, certainly with the Vaporfly Next Percent, that people have tended to pronate significantly in them, and you would not pronate in these. These are really stable. Like I say, they felt like a stable Vaporfly. So in my view, the Pro 3 risks becoming a Vaporfly, just not as good as the Vaporfly. So there we have my review of the Adios Pro 2. Overall, I really enjoyed my first run in them, and I'm looking forward to putting some more miles in them. Hopefully a lot more, depending on how durable this rubber is. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to mash the like button, and I'll see you on the next one.